Okay.
Well, we talked to Glenn about the history of Heaven 17
Yeah.
and how it all happened and all this sort of thing. So what we really need to talk about now is BEF.
Yes.
Which is essentially yourself.
It is now, yes, just all on my own here.
But it used to be with Ian.
Yeah, I mean, Ian, when the Humour League split, Ian decided to come with me and form BEF, and then M17 was the first project. And after a couple of years, Ian decided to back out of BEF as well, because it turned into more of like a straightforward kind of production gig for me. It wasn't my idea, by the way, it was his decision, and I think he just valued his time a bit more than I did. I was in the studio like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I even offered to train Glenn up, to be honest, and he wasn't keen either. Lazy buggy. And but you know, so in the final analysis, yes, it's been me for the last 25 years, really.
Right.
Bob last took me up to Edinburgh, and after the split, and obviously got it all sorted out in his head what was going on, and he suggested that our at that time, mine and Ian's best use of our time might be to be a production company. I thought, what a lovely idea! So we decided to do a fantastic idea of trying to make it. Come up with the name for a start. British Electric Foundation was originally it was going to be something. I thought it would be great to be like an enormous kind of utility company, actually, like British Electric Company. I wanted to call it originally. We talked to our lawyers, and they said you can't do that. It's just too close to actually being like a utility company. So we said, but why don't you think about something like foundation or federation? I thought federation just sounded a bit too bland. But foundation,
Star Wars, isn't it?
but foundation was quite good because it sounds like it could be some kind of rich man's plaything, kind of philanthropy thing, or it could be an educational thing or anything. You know, it was very vague but interesting. So I thought that's what we went for. And then I thought, wouldn't it be great if the actual company looked like it had been around since the 1930s or something, and actually have a logo that looked like it could have been carved, you know, etched into a brass plaque. Penthouse and Pavement, and of course we come from Sheffield, which is the Socialist Republic of South Yorkshire, and all come from very poor backgrounds actually, and we quite like the idea of appearing to be incredibly rich as a kind of ironic comment on the exact opposite, really. And so therefore it was actually Ian's idea, the cover for Penthouse and Pavement, and the idea that we appear to be these amazingly successful businessmen. It's like obviously hoping in the fullness of time it would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But you know, we thought it would be clear to people it was ironic, and of course the yuppies at the time kind of took it upon themselves to take it as their kind of national anthem, Penthouse and Pavement. They're like, yeah, all right, mate, let's all make a bomb, you know. And it's like, no, you're missing the kind of point, really. And it's really about the anti-proliferation treaty, etc. So, you know, we thought we made it clear by having the first track on the album. We don't need that fascist groove thing. It's fairly clear where our political sentiments lie. But you know, people have to be hammered over the head. Our kind of attitude was always kind of one of stealth, kind of making entertaining pop songs that felt fresh and exciting, but with actually a kind of semi-buried message underneath. And that's kind of been our modus operandi all the way through, really. For us, the first thing that we recorded was Glenn singing Wichita Lineman, and Heaven 17, of course. But at the same time, we were doing music for Stowaways, the cassette-only release, and that was quite. We wanted to make it clear to our fans from the previous Humour League incarnation that we weren't going to abandon our kind of experimental side, so we decided to do lots of things simultaneously. And of course, at the same time as we were working on Penthouse and Pavement, we were working on music of quality and distinction. And so, actually working on three things simultaneously, it's completely mad, but we were totally motivated, as you can understand. And then, after that, the first outside kind of job that I was asked to do was to produce an album for Hot Gossip, believe it or not. And for obvious reasons I accepted that job. And it wasn't based on their singing ability.
But Ian, as I understand it, he didn't want to do that? Or am I wrong?
I think that's when he decided that he didn't want to be involved. And then, of course, after MQD 1, which featured Tina Turner amongst others, that led to Roger Davis and Tina asking me if we'd write some songs for her following, for Private Dancer. And being completely stupid and a little bit frightened, we said, well, we don't really write for anybody else. But very happy to do suggest some cover versions that she might want to do. The interesting thing about music quality and distinction and that kind of period of time is we saw, because I've spent 2.5 years, 3 years doing purely electronic music, I could see a new approach to popular music, you know, and really the MQD album was like a kind of manifesto for electronic pop, almost. So I thought all I really had to do was to identify what was really attractive about these tracks and then do them in a kind of programmed stroke electronic manner. Now, of course, everybody does that now. You know, it simply wouldn't have the same impact now because everybody uses sampling electronic means to create tracks. But in those days, it was brand new. There weren't even any samplers. There was barely MIDI, you know, and so I think it was quite revolutionary for its time. And although it wasn't a big financial success, it definitely put me on the map in terms of as a producer, and it led to, you know, a very successful and lucrative production career.